94. I don't talk about that. What's going on? This is your brother Bashir Jones, man. Hope and pray all is well. We thank the Creator for another day of life. Despite what's going on in our lives, it's a blessing to have life. And the fact is that if it isn't for God's love, then in reality, where would we be? Where would we be? Like, God's love is so amazing, man, that it just overcomes all of the things that we've done. Maybe some things that we've done, some of us may not deserve it. Some of us may not even deserve the mercy of God. But yet and still, His love is greater than His wrath. That's deep. That's a deep concept. That's a godly thing. So in reality, it's a godly thing to show love to those people who may not necessarily deserve it, but are obviously in need of it. Right? Fire can't put out fire. Only water can put out fire. Hate can't put out hate. Only love can put out hate. Or if it can't, at least you don't walk around with the same hatred that somebody else has in their heart. But what is love? What does this mean? I wanted to talk to Sanera about this. Sanera, how you doing?
Bismillah, I'm doing wonderful.
You doing good?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good. When you think about this word, love, what does love mean to you?
Love is respect. Love is having somebody in your corner, having somebody that you know that brings out the best in you, that wants the best for you, that loves you unconditionally.
When you say unconditionally, what does that mean, unconditionally?
Despite your flaws, despite your everybody, I think everybody got issues, and despite your issues, there's somebody that just can really love you for you.
That's hard to do, huh? Is that hard? Is that something that's hard to do?
I don't think it's hard to do. I think it's hard to find.
It's hard to find. Wow, that's deep. What do you think it is, besides just finding love? A lot of us sometimes have a hard time in loving ourselves. Why do you think that is?
That's the number one. You have to be whole. You have to love yourself, because otherwise, everything that you think is what you attract. You start pulling energies. You start pulling people towards you that's not beneficial, and it's because you may not love yourself as much as you should.
That's something. You might not love yourself as much as you should. That's a tough life, man. You see a lot of people. I was watching a news story the other day. Young guy, man, 8 years old, being bullied at school. 8 years old, and he committed suicide. It was such a horrific story of this 8-year-old boy who killed himself, or young ladies who are having a hard time loving themselves. They are enamored with this idea of what they believe beauty is, and they starve themselves, and not just physically starving themselves, but like starving themselves spiritually and in other ways to try to fit this idea of what beauty is. Why do you think women have such a hard time with self-love?
I think that right now in this day and age, it's such a facade. It's so being exposed or overly exposed, being just the idea of what a woman or what a lady is supposed to be is really, really misplaced right now.
Is it hard to be a woman? It's a crazy question, right? But I mean, I don't have no desire to be a woman. I mean, I know that there are people who do desire to be opposite than what they are, but and I'm not even talking about sexuality. I'm just in general. There are people And maybe we all have suffered from this, of wanting to be something that we're not. Tell me about the trials of just being a woman.
The trials of being a woman. I mean, I can certainly speak for a woman in business. You know, is sometimes at every turn, every conversation, every business meeting, I have to be able to just kind of filter through and make sure that they came to do business. So no matter how skilled, no matter how prepared, no matter, you know, the caliber of what I'm trying to bring to the table, it's almost that, are they taking me serious because I'm a woman? And then in the same boat, you know, I have to be able to balance family and business. I definitely want to be able to go after my goals, but my family is my priority. So it's a certain balance that I need to have. It's a certain, you know, I have to make it look easy. It seems like, you know, almost most of the time I have to work really hard to make it look easy.
What advice do you have for women who are in business or who are working, who are taking care of their family, who just feel like they've come to a fork in the road in a relationship? So let's start there. If they feel like they've come to a fork in the road in their relationship, what advice do you have for them?
Feed your spiritual self. You know, we about as strong as our mind allows us to be, and our mind is the strongest muscle. It can take you through highs and lows, but feeding your spiritual self, it'll give balance. We often overcomplicate everything else, but the most uncomplicated thing ever is the love of God. And once you possess those tools and you have that knowledge, everything else you can see through.
That's powerful. That is really powerful. If you have some women out there who's really interested in doing their own thing and open up business, but they're battling between family or just battling this idea that they can't do it because they have children, or they can't do it because, you know, they don't have a degree, or they don't have this, or they don't have that, you know, what do you say to them?
I say, you know, every step forward is a step in the direction that you should be going. You know, I think that you should definitely go after your goals. Figure out exactly what that looks like, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I just think that if God puts something on your heart, that you have to give it your all. You have to try. And if it comes down to the tough times, you know, sometimes we got to take on the bad days so we can enjoy the good ones. But we just have to keep moving forward. And you will find when you really focus in on what exactly is your purpose, everything else just kind of almost seem like it just falls in line with it.
That's real, man. And Mrs. McCoy, she has her own company, real estate company and investment, and she does credit repair, and she does all these great things for all people of all colors and all races and all gender. It don't matter. You know, she's really about helping people. And do you find that even though you're helping people with their finances or with their investments, do you find that it's really it really boils down to the mindset of why we are where we are as far as our financial situations and or our thinking that we can't go but so far? Does it all boil down to the mind?
I think, yeah, that definitely plays a huge part. I mean, you can really only go as far as your vision. And if you see small, if that's, you know, you have to be able to see that grander vision and know what you're working towards. But, I mean, at the same time, you know, in business, it's like 70% of what we know about finances is taught in the household. Statistically, it's a study that says 70% of everything that you learn about finance and business and budgeting is taught in the household. So if you're in a household where you wasn't privileged to learn those things, then we already a step behind. So it's a certain mindset where if you wasn't taught it or you're not aware of it, you don't have anybody pushing you or helping you make the right decisions concerning your finances, then you have to hit a couple bumps before you realize.
Them bumps ain't no joke.
No, those bumps not no joke.
Them Jones hurt, man. I'm telling you, them bumps hurt. And sometimes you hit a bump so hard, like it be like one of them Cleveland bumps. You know what I mean? You know them Cleveland bumps where you be driving.
One of those EC potholes.
One of them East Cleveland potholes. You hit that joint, the whole car feel like, the transmission stopped working, So sometimes in life you hit a bump and it just really calls you to just have to get tuned up. Have to fix something, before you can move forward. But whatever you do, you just don't stop. So in the closing statements, what is love?
Love is God.
Oh, where are you going to drop the mic like that? Sexual chocolate. That's it. Love is God. Love is God. And to love is godly. And to love is godly. I add that to it. Love is God. And to love is godly. Because sometimes you got to love people through the bumps. Right?
Absolutely. And also, you just have to know that everything that you need to fulfill your goals, your desires, your purpose is already in you. So you have to find it in yourself, believe in yourself, and move forward.
It's a blessing, man. Mrs. McCoy, thank you so much for joining the Bashir Jones Show. And on this show, man, I'm going to be focused on talking to different people and getting different thoughts about different topics, whether it's about what's going on in the world or what's going on in the galaxy within yourselves. I hope that you all gained something from it. If you did, that was definitely from God. And if you didn't, then just listen again, man, because you weren't listening. Anyway, may God bless you. May God protect you and guide you. And may we find the best of ourselves. Amen. Amen.